Hi, this is Chris Fisk, writer, contributing artist, and creator of Infinitale Chronicles. This update presents some of the exciting events that have occurred over the past couple of weeks. I've been working hard to promote the Infinitale Chronicles comic book, and have had the pleasure of speaking with some amazing creators, YouTubers, and other members of the indie comics community about its Indiegogo campaign. The positive responses have been extremely encouraging. Here are some highlights from what we've discussed. Links to the full interviews and these awesome channels can be found in the description.
So we want to learn a little bit about you. Where'd you come from? What's your drive? What's your motivation? What got you into creating?
Well, I was a game designer for about a decade in video game industry, and I escaped that, fortunately. Before that, I was a really dumb kid. And I went to the local library in my hometown, and one of my friends was into Dungeons and Dragons, and that was basically literary crack for me.
Oh, yeah.
And it was surprising considering I was functionally illiterate for a child. I mean, dyslexic as all hell. And it actually, it's amazing how, I don't want to say therapeutic, but how effective a hobby can overcome certain limitations like that. Where if it weren't for the librarian, like if you really like something you're doing and it's difficult, you'll persevere through it. And Dungeons and Dragons is responsible for my literacy, so it forced me to linger in the library. This is the days before the internet, and I did a shit ton of research. I mean, the Dewey Decimal System, like that. And basically, I developed a pen and paper system of my own because, the arrogance of youth. You see Dungeons and Dragons, you see something somebody else does, and you're like, oh, I could do that. And no, you can't. But that drive was very useful because I ended up basically utilizing the town Pelham where I lived. The community kids would come in, and the librarian basically gave me an incentive to babysit them by saying, you know how your high school treats you like a criminal and you're not allowed to graduate until you have over 100 hours of community service? I'll give you community service if you play your little Dungeons and Dragons thing in our children's room. And boy, was that was fun. It took about 8 years for the guinea pig, for the beta testers to help me develop this game. And I loved it because it was objective feedback. It wasn't, or I should say it was feedback that wasn't biased because of their friends. Your friends are your worst feedback. These were people that were like 12, 13, 14, whatever, and they're like, this sucks. This is terrible. It's kind of par for the course when you're a game designer and you're like doing focus groups or whatever, and they don't know that the game designers are the ones that design these systems, and you've got your clipboard and you're listening to their feedback, and they're like, whoever fucking designed this piece of shit needs to be publicly beaten. It was like, thick skin. Yeah. Well, it's amazing, some of the unfiltered feedback you got. But I was used to it because you have, the honesty of children telling you these things like, was the person who did this handicapped? Like all sorts of stuff. And, it helped. It really did. And like I said, I spent 8 years doing this, multiple groups of kids. So there were kind of fresh insights into this. Long story short, I approached a comic book production company, High Concept Media Properties. This guy Zen said, yeah, I can totally help you, organize. Like I have the knowledge that you need, basically how to assemble these books, how to contact the right artists, get printers, all that stuff. And so the two of us bashed our brains together. And over the years, we ended up producing this comic book series. All of the chronicles themselves are actually recorded game sessions that, when pieced together, actually make a very, very coherent story, which was surprising for a bunch of teenagers doing this. It harkens back to the 90s Saturday morning cartoons and the anime of the time. And it definitely is a product of its era, where like it's less cynical than what we see today, and it has a bit of the old ultra violence. So
you just like hit on two of my favorite things there. I need less cynical because I'm becoming a cynical old bastard, and ultra violence is always helpful. I'll tell you what, one of the first things that really jumped out at me is this notice to backers, and I like this. Regardless if the campaign succeeds or not, all backers are guaranteed to receive their perks when the campaign ends.
That's
Beautiful.
really interesting.
Yeah, I funded out of pocket the first book. It's all done. It's all like production was a couple of years. And again, I mean, this was started back in the 90s. And I wanted to make sure that if, because I'm making a first impression here, you only get one chance at that. And I wanted to make sure that I had actually something substantial and generate that kind of consumer confidence with, hey, this guy can actually deliver, instead of, here's an idea, you don't know who I am, I'm a nobody, I have an unproven product. You might get it in a month or 2 months or a year or whatever. No, we have it, it's all done, it's ready to go. I'm using Indiegogo as more of a kind of a litmus test for interest, rather than selling you on the idea and then I build upon it. It's more of a, here's a product, do you like it, yes or no?
Right.
And from there I can kind of, finance the rest of the series.
That's
cool,
that's incredible. I mean,
that's a cool approach.
Yeah, it absolutely is a good approach. Because you know that you're going to be backing, and you have the confidence in your material to do that. I think that's a great approach, brother.
The initial kind of incarnation of Infinitale was a pen and paper role-playing game system that I had developed back in the early 90s as a teenager. And the Chronicles are the comic book representation of those game sessions, all written, and basically they were the game with writing kind of smoothed over to make the story a little more coherent. And after looking at it, it was basically an archive for about 30 years. And I was looking at it going, wow, this is actually a pretty decent story. And this particular story is the kind of the origin story of the elves of this world or this universe. There's actually 2 worlds in the gaming universe. And this is more of like a historical account leading up into the gaming universe. I think the story explores a lot of themes that I don't think they get touched on as much anymore with like a lot of modern media. I mean, it's innocence lost. It's the discovery of kind of liberation at the expense of security. It's basically it's a big anti-authoritarian kind of middle finger, or at least that's what I've heard from some interpreters of the story. But it's not my business to tell readers what they should think of the story. So I would love to get it in people's hands and have them judge it for themselves.
Nice, man. Yeah, because it is so rich in detail. These characters, they're going to be growing, doing a lot. Yeah, man, I was really impressed with what you were telling us too over on Red Gaze's channel. That was pretty impressive, and how you were kind of using people as guinea pigs.
As the narrator, you're leading the story in the sense that you're providing the scenario, but ultimately the characters, based on their own kind of biases and their own impetus, forged that story and pushed it forward. So I kind of like that. I mean, it was cool watching players tear your world apart, and you're trying to lay the track while the train's in motion.
Yeah, that is awesome.
The art on this campaign is so freaking polished. It's just amazing. I mean, you got some amazing people to work on. The concept art and the interior pages all look really good.
Yeah,
thank
really
you.
Great stuff. You guys are, I think, hitting it out of the park. These things look beautiful. The concepts are fantastic.
I'm really impressed with the book, how it looks. It looks really, really professional, and I'm also a big fan of the logo. There's so much detail in it, and I'm just, I'm really loving it. It's really
thank you.
cool. Yeah,
Very professional looking.
Yeah, indeed.
Stuff.
And I also took a look at the trailer at the bottom, with the card collection.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that looks really good. And I must say, I just looked at the campaign again. $15 even for the standard book. That's really cheap. And and even European shipping is not very expensive at all. Normally I would pay $20-25, but now I pay around. Let me check. I believe $17 or something around that, if I'm correctly. That's great. It's really cheap.
Mm.
Just to add to that as well, the book's already done. This campaign isn't really about kind of financing the construction of the book. It's pretty much sitting at the printers right now. We're just waiting for quantities. Really? I'm trying to use the campaign as a gauge for interest rather than like financing that specific book because I financed the whole thing out of pocket. And that was when I got hit by that reality slap where it was like, you just spent more money on this than you did on your car.
So yeah, you got the variant covers. We hit that. The bundle, 5-pack plus 1 poster.
I like the variant, the Ginza Man one.
Here's what the poster comes in, so you don't have to worry about it being crinkled or the postal service abusing it in any way. And
Nice.
it's a double-sided poster, so you get both variant covers. So if you like the Genzo Man one, you get bored, you flip it over, and it's the Michelle one. And on top of that, it's 19 inches by 27 inches, so it's pretty big. It's almost movie
You're
poster
going
size.
all out, man.
It's great stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, and the ultimate bundle. You get everything in here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Excellent, man. Excellent.
His world building is insane. If you want more information than you can get from like a 20-minute pitch or whatever, go on my channel. I watched the last stream on Wednesday. It was epic. That's all. The art is going to be really good. And all the art we've seen now is fantastic. And frankly, I don't understand why you're like not... You have like 9 backers now. Like seriously, let's refresh right now because like I need to see some more back. Oh, you have 1 more, so there you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Come on! I'm backing this because I want to see like just for the art, even just for the art. But I love fantasy, obviously, but like the art is fantastic and anything with deep world building, dude. This is a whole other level. Like you've got all the. This is like it's not just like a portfolio website. It's like you've got all the books, you have like all the scrolly thingies, I don't even know what you call it, and you have a news section and you have like a library. This is a whole new level and I don't know why people aren't backing your book. Everyone, you need this book right now. You want to back it. You want this. You want to take this home. Come on. What we're funding right now is it printing costs, obviously, but also the production of the second book.
Yeah, it's not really designed to finance me. I'm not making a profit from this. In fact, some of the things I've actually willingly took a hit because I wanted to up the quality on certain things.
Passion.
Yeah, well, it's all money that I make in excess of what I'm trying to get for a goal. I actually mapped out the entire roadmap of the product line because I wanted to have some level of confidence in readers knowing that I'm not J.J. Abrams. Like, I'm not winging this as I'm going along. There is no Rey Skywalker at the end of this.
Yeah, it's tired.
You know what? Going back to some of the other details that you had been talking about with Infinitale, one thing that kind of caught my ear was when you mentioned that the stories were written by around like 14-year-olds. Do you mean that you actually started developing the ideas for the tabletop game / world back when you were younger, and so you're recycling these that you wrote down? Or are you mentioning this as like the play testing happened with that age range?
It was, so these Chronicles were actually on typewriter print, like Xerox typewriter print when I started salvaging them. The game itself was developed back in 91 and it went through some testing all the way up to about 97, 98 and a little bit into early 2000s. And it was all written out. Like the Chronicles were the adventure that was being played.
Yeah.
So the main character opens with Queen Ashlyn. That's her in the painting there on the cover of the book.
Right.
And her king consort husband, Kaelin, spelled Caolan. And basically, Ashlyn has given birth to her son and is really sick, and she's going in and out of these fevered dreams, hallucinating, doing all sorts of weird stuff. And it's up to Kaelin to kind of, foot the bill while she's indisposed, because when people become defective, the gods kind of make them disappear. So he's running cover for that. And the people won't respect an ailing queen if she's gone mad. So he basically does his duty, and she starts seeing these visions in her dreams. And it's funny because etymologically speaking, Ashlyn actually means in Gaelic the dreamer. So that was kind of a cool name
like
that the
that.
player chose. So Ashlyn is getting these visions of things that are kind of odd, that don't match up to what she's been taught and everything she's known. And the title of the first book is called Second Genesis. And I don't want to give away too much, but the first few pages that you see on on this Indiegogo page talk about the origin myth of the Alpha people, and it might be just the first Genesis. There might be some revision going on.
So
I like that.
Is Ashlyn, is she like the main character? Is her son the main character, or is it like a group kind of cast of main characters, or like an ensemble?
Yeah, it's definitely an ensemble cast because like the game was played for several years and it spans generations. So we'll see the characters change in appearance as they progress through the stories. Some of them don't make it. I don't know if you can read that.
Let me full screen you again.
Player skill.
Player skill.
So
All right.
this is from the role-playing game. And it's like, okay, well, what is this? And it's the spoken written language of Slirith, the language of the dragons. And it has...
let's be best friends.
It has a cipher that throughout the comic, this is a forgotten language. The elves call it Old Tilwith. The language of the elves is called Tilwith. So they see this as Old Tilwith, a forgotten language. It's kind of like the way we view Latin. And they, throughout the story series, you'll see ancient ruins and statues or even beings speaking in this foreign language right there. And players or readers who possess the card can actually decipher it, and be sure to drink your Ovaltine. It will
I was just going for that joke as well.
So yeah, the idea is that somebody who has this special card can kind of get more out of the story. If you don't have the card, it's totally fine. You're not missing anything crucial. But at the same time,
about to ask, yeah.
yeah. I mean, you don't want to punish somebody for not getting the special decoder ring. But at the same time, it does add a bit flavor when you start seeing how certain characters, when they translate it to people who don't speak it, how they might not honestly be saying the same things that the person who actually said it.
Boobdad killing it. He's really fast,
awesome.
by the way. Did you know Dan's fast? He's a really fast artist.
You should draw that right on screen.
It's if I say it, then you can't rub it in, Chimera.
That is
there
awesome.
You go. Yeah, that's great.
There's some cheesecake for you.
Yeah.
Back at Fred. Back at Fred. Yeah, it definitely looks like just obviously years and years of work.
No kidding.
I'm excited.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of stunned.
Pay for this out of pocket. Oh my word. Woo.
Yeah.
Back this man's project, dude.
But I mean, that's also one of the things that everybody has been commenting. It's just like an incredible amount of polish on this project. Really cool.
Yeah. Very
just like look at that, like you dominated the whole stream because like how much content you even have about it. It's just a lot. Really cool, man.
So much passion.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to announce some new perk bundles available on the campaign page. Thanks to some great feedback, I've provided a couple of new bundles for backers. The Standard Edition plus Card Bundle conveniently couples the book with 9 collectible cards into a single perk. The new Ultimate Bundle is perfect for collectors and actually provides a bit of a discount. You get everything in this bundled perk: a Standard Edition, the Michelle Hefner variant cover, and the Genzo Man variant cover editions of the book. You also get those 9 collectible cards and the 2-sided poster that features both variant covers. There are limited quantities of these perks, so be sure to grab them while supplies last. I'd also like to thank the Comicsgate community that has shown an incredible amount of support for this unknown and unproven creator. Without such an inspiring and welcoming group of people, the fears and uncertainty of this new frontier would have been entirely overwhelming, to say the least. Finally, I'd like to thank the current backers. This book can't become a series if it's not backed, and I'm incredibly grateful for these backers' generosity and support. Seriously, thank you. As of this video's release, there are a little over 40 days left before the campaign ends. Help support indie comics by backing this campaign. If your finances are making that difficult, simply sharing this campaign and spreading the good word about it will also be greatly appreciated. Keep your eyes open for more updates and information about Infinitale Chronicles, and I look forward to getting this epic fantasy comic book series into your collection.
Infinitale Chronicles, the War of the Trees.